Yes, good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
6th May 2022. Let's see which are the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Okay, these are the important developments. Look at the first page. WHO estimates 4.7 million COVID-linked deaths in India. Okay. Now this is important news. Why we are saying, yes, good morning. Because the estimated count, the official estimated count by Indian government is almost 10 times less as compared to, we can say, the WHO estimates. So the kind of data gap we are having here. At the same time, India will contest report, says Indian officials. So India is not agreeing with the let's say estimates by WHO. Okay, so we'll have the follow up on this news, because earlier we have discussed in one of the ED lecture. Last week itself in ED lecture we talked about importance of data in terms of evidence based policy making, and that too the vaccination policy and all the COVID-19 pandemic policy that was based on the accurate data. If that data was not accurate, then this was not evidence based policy making by the government.
Right, sir.
Okay, so we can take this example also while writing answer. Suppose it is related to importance of data. Now
And we can take the example of COVID.
COVID.
COVID, COWI.
Yes, we can give that example also. Now, yes, Prime Minister Modi, Macron agreed to work together to expand relations. So, in the last leg of the Europe visit of our Prime Minister, he met with the President of France. Okay, so that IR section GS2 paper will have follow up here. Then the panel notifies new Jammu and Kashmir Assembly constituencies. So this is important from polity section. Now the finalization happened here. This, let's say, delimitation commission of Jammu and Kashmir has finally notified the new boundaries, names and number of assembly constituency in Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory.
Right.
Okay, so ये number हमें याद रखना है, because there can be question in prelims examination. Fine. Now moving on to page number 5. Center questions environmental impact of Jog Falls project. Okay, on page number 5. So here actually the state government has proposed to demolish the PWD guest house there near to Jog Falls, and the land is given for construction of 5-star hotel there. Okay, so the approval is given by state authorities, but the approval is not given yet by the central government authorities or under Ministry of Environment. Okay, so they are seeking some clearance here that why let's say state government has not done any kind of environment impact assessment.
Right.
Okay, that is fine, but what is important for us? Jog Falls from geography section. Sharavati River, Karnataka is the location, one of the highest falls in India.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Then on page number 6, very good article written by former director of NCERT, Krishna Kumar. He writes very good articles on school education. Okay, so in essay writing, GS2 paper as well as GS1 paper society part, GS4 paper ethics part, when we talk about values in education, his articles are very very important. Okay, हमेशा 1 या 2 महीने बाद उनका आर्टिकल आता है जब भी स्कूल एजुकेशन या कुछ न्यूज़ में होता है. द आर्टिकल इज हैविंग कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म, द इशू ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म इन कर्नाटका. ओके, and he is writing from society perspective. Okay, he is not writing from education perspective specifically, rather he is writing how this uniform has become let's say the important political issue in the contemporary times.
Right.
He is giving the origin of uniform before independence, then after independence, how we adopted this policy of having uniform in schools.
Right.
So there can be essay topic, we can use that content. Now on left hand side, watch the gap. Yesterday we talked about increase in the amount of imports and exports, widening the trade deficit okay, for April month. And with that context, this article is written. It is talking about that government needs to be careful of widening this trade deficit having significant impact on CAD and overall Indian economy, current account deficit and overall Indian economy. So how it impacts Indian economy? तो यहाँ पे कुछ concepts भी involved है, and GS3 paper economy part, it is important for us. Fine. On page number 7, although we have not included this in discussion, but you should know that it is part of sports ethics. On page number 7, is it possible to separate sports and politics? The context of this article is recently several sports federations, they have banned Russia, Belarus teams from these countries in those competitions, and the latest one is Wimbledon. Okay, so can we separate sports from politics? It is very important question from the sports ethics.
Very tough, sir. But for a healthy sports ethic, it must be done.
Yes, we can say that, and yes, from time to time it has been observed that political elements have impacted sports, or especially inter-country tournaments जो होते हैं, international tournaments जो होते हैं वहाँ पर. And yes, if we talk about the origin of sport, it has not been, let's say, part of politics. Rather, the sports have been, viewed from the entertainment perspective, from the, perspective of pursuit of excellence, human excellence.
Sir, spirit of unity.
Spirit of unity, or let's say spirit the corps, जो team spirit जो बोलते हैं हम, right? So that aspect, and simply we should understand it is, pursuit of human excellence.
Right, sir.
Sports जो है, and it is also part of entertainment. But from time to time, the political elements, for example, many times.
Sir, Winter Olympics recently. Right?
Yes, Winter Olympics. The best example is India-Pakistan cricket matches. So what happened in 2019 when we lost, let's say, Pakistan match in World Cup for the first time? So there were several instances in India which disturbed some, let's say, harmony in the society, है ना? तो ऐसे यहाँ पर क्या हुआ है, पॉलिटिक्स बीच में आ गया है स्पोर्ट्स के, राइट? सो देर आर मेनी अदर इंस्टेंसेस ऑल्सो wherein the politics has been involved in the sports, but it should not be there. Okay, rather we can say that pride, image of the country, it can be linked to the sports. Like for example, when our javelin thrower, let's say, क्या नाम था उनका? हाँ, so he has won the gold medal in the Olympics. So it has, we can say, created good image of India at the world stage, and there is pride that we carry with it.
Yes, sir.
So this is different. Politics is different. Politics is negative element, right? Pride and image of the country. So that is positive element. It can be linked. Okay, so we can discuss like this, but
Actually, there is a trade war between USA and China, and impact is that USA banned its athlete to go in Winter Olympics.
yes, you can take that example also. Basically, the national policies impact the sports. For example, क्या हुआ था कुछ साल पहले चाइना में कुछ टूर्नामेंट था, सो अरुणाचल प्रदेश से जो एथलेटिक्स थे तो उनको वीज़ा नहीं दिया था चाइना ने. ओके, व्हाई? बिकॉज चाइना कंसिडर अरुणाचल प्रदेश एज इट्स ओन पार्ट.
अटैच्ड वीजा कुछ इस तरीके का कुछ देता है सर उनको.
नहीं, वो वीज़ा ही नहीं दे रहे थे उनको. ओके, सो such kind of domestic policies or national interest impacts the sports also. Okay, yes. Now on page number 8, on bottom side, the status of Naga peace talks. Explainer. Again, we will revise this. It will be revision for you. GS3 paper. Naga insurgency is part of internal security.
Right.
The context here is there is, let's say, annual report of Ministry of Home Affairs which talks about certain violent instances by Naga insurgent groups. तो पूरा हिस्ट्री दिया हुआ है, ठीक है, सिंस इंडिपेंडेंस हाउ नागा इंसर्जेंसी emerged in नॉर्थ ईस्ट and the present status finally. Okay. Fine, moving on. Okay, political news. 2 judges. Collegium recommends 2 names for the Supreme Court and both of them are High Court Chief Justices at present. ठीक है, नाम याद रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Okay. On page number 12. There is this news, expert panel will study star rating. Okay, just briefly you should know about this star rating. There is proposal by Food Safety and Standard Authority of India to give star rating to all packaged food products. On page number 12. Okay, and some of the civil society organizations, experts, they have criticized this move. Okay, so just be aware कि ऐसा कुछ उन्होंने proposal दिया हुआ है गवर्नमेंट ने, इतना important नहीं है. On page number 13, NASA climate scientist win global food prize. Okay, so she has significantly contributed towards understanding of impact of climate change on agriculture production, food production. And this has helped the countries to prepare to deal with this climate change and ensure food security. Okay, so from miscellaneous perspective, awards are being asked, तो आपको ये जानना है prelims perspective. Yesterday we said that we will include some basics of those art and culture, let's say perspective, the gifts given by our Prime Minister to the heads of governments there in Nordic countries. Okay, so आज हमने उसको include किया हुआ है. This will be important for your prelims examination. Let's go in detail. First one, the status of Naga peace talks. Okay. Yes, why did the Naga insurgency begin? So let us go back to before independence. Before independence, if we talk about, so northeastern India, largely Britishers were concerned about the culture, the customs, traditions of the northeastern people. They were very, we can say, insecure, and that's why Britishers, what they did, they had this policy of non-interference for these hill living tribal people of northeast. Okay, and they had, let's say, kept their administrator at the top of that administration and they were given some autonomy. Okay, there was no interference. Rather, the outsiders were also not given entry. Inner permit system was introduced there in northeastern by Britishers. But when the talks of India's independence started and it was felt that India will get the independence soon, the Naga people, tribal people, they started feeling insecure. Insecure because they felt that the plain living people will enter into their domain, and they were feeling insecure for their territory. Okay, so in 1946, Naga National Council was formed. In 1946, Naga National Council was formed and it started demanding independent country, sovereign country. Okay, and when India was, let's say the independence announcement happened on the 14th August of 1947 itself, this NNC declared as Nagaland or Naga territory as independent country. Okay, they formed the parallel government and then the insurgency started immediately after that. The armed rebellion of this particular council, Naga federal government and Naga federal army, the insurgent or rebellion armed group of this organization. Okay, so immediately after independence, when the insurgency started, Indian government sent the armed forces there to deal with this insurgency. Okay, and यहाँ पे आपको पता होना चाहिए लीडर का नाम भी A.Z. Fizo. Okay, he was the main leader. Now, after certain negotiation, when the, let's say, insurgency was largely or violently suppressed, then the negotiations also started with the leaders, and some kind of concessions were given. For example, in 1963, separate, statehood was given to Nagaland. But some of the leaders, they were not happy. They continued insurgency even after that. And government also continued talks with the leaders of those militant groups. And in 1975, there were Shillong Accords. ये timeline important है आंसर में लिखने के लिए. Okay, these Shillong Accords were very comprehensive, providing significant political autonomy to the Naga tribal region of northeast, including we can say Nagaland. Now, hereafter also some leaders, they were not happy with this Shillong Accord. The names we can say that Isak Mua, Isak Su and Khaplang. These three important leaders from three different tribal clans. They formed in 1980 NSCN, National Socialist Council of Nagaland, NSCN, in 1980. Okay, and this was again, they started rebelling against the government, and armed rebellion continued by this organization. But within this organization also, there were conflictual demands. Okay, and the conflict among the leaders led to, we can say, formation of different factions.
Separation of NSC.
In 1988, it separated into two main factions, and NSCN-K, Khaplang, Isak Mua and Khaplang, they separated. Okay, thereafter negotiations by the government with let's say the interlocutor of Government of India and these leaders of these organizations, the negotiations continued, and in 1997 ceasefire agreement with Isak Mua.
IMM Government of India.
Yes, so this was signed, and the negotiations continued. Hereafter the NSCN IM agreed to put down the weapons and continued the peaceful talks. Now, even after that, let's say the Naga Peace Accord was, a distant dream, and to some extent a kind of parallel government started or continued, we can say. Parallel government, why we are saying parallel government here? Because these organizations required some kind of financing. So they started, exploiting the people, businessmen. Yes, they started, taxing the people separately, parallelly. So वहाँ से उनको जो है revenue मिलता था. Along with that, they were involved in illegal activities like, for example, transboundary, we can say, shipments of the armaments, guns, drugs. Yes, so that provided finance to these organizations. Okay, but the latest one, when the present government came in power, immediately after that, 2015, a framework agreement was signed with all Naga political groups, NPGs. But उसमें जो है ये NSCN Khaplang नहीं था. It is most, you can say, rebellious group and violent group at present among the factions. Okay, so this framework agreement was signed. Framework agreement provided skeleton for Naga Peace Accord, and further specific provisions were to be included and finalized. But in recent past, in 2020, the disagreement between the India's Government of India's interlocutor and the Governor of Nagaland, N. Ravi, and this IM group started. Okay, so this NSE and IM group said that N. Ravi arbitrarily changed the subject matter of this framework agreement. Okay, so because of that they demanded removal of let's say governor, Nagaland governor, and last year he was removed. Okay, now he became the governor of Tamil Nadu.
Very controversial.
Yes, we can keep that aside. Okay, but at present, the present status is that this framework agreement is still continued and final Naga peace accord is not, we can say, signed yet. Okay, so this is how we should understand the developments
Right, sir.
since independence to the present level. Okay? Yes. Now, moving on, watch the gap. Yes, increasing or widening trade deficit. Yesterday we talked about April month's data on import and export, and it was found that exports increased, but the imports continued to outpace export, and because of that we can say the trade deficit widened last month. Okay, this is the situation. Now why this trade deficit increased? You should know the reasons. First of all, that is fueled by high prices of crude oil.
Yes, sir.
The crude oil prices, since when the war started, it has increased by 40%. 24th February जब से ये वॉर शुरू हुआ है तब से 40% से क्रूड ऑयल प्राइसेस बढ़े हुए हैं. Okay, and because of that the import bill, along with that the edible oil prices have also increased. They have also we can say substantially contributed to this.
Right.
Then the third factor is related to peak energy demand. So April month has seen heat waves in different parts of the country. Because of that the energy demand for the cooling purpose in general has increased, and therefore the different let's say parts of the countries are facing the energy crisis. Okay, because the coal is less at present in different thermal power plants, and we are expecting to import the coal, and when we will import the coal, of course again it will lead to increase in import bill.
Sir, second position after crude oil, there is import of coal.
Yes, so importing coal will further, let's say, increase the import bill. This is the situation. Now let us understand and analyze the impact of widening trade deficit. Impact. First of all, it will impact negatively on CAD, current account deficit. Trade deficit is the important component of current account deficit, along with other part as a transfer payments. Now current account deficit, when it increases, it leads to BOP crisis. BOP crisis, and the country needs to have sufficient forex, foreign exchange reserves. Although at present we are having sufficient forex, but in future it may prove threat. Okay, first aspect. Second aspect, we should know, when there is increase in the current account deficit, it, we can say, weakens rupee vis-a-vis the important currencies, international currencies like dollar. Okay, and already this increasing crude oil prices are weakening rupee. Because of that, let's say weakened rupee will further, what will happen? It will lead to costly imports. When the rupee's value depreciates, automatically the import become costly. Although exports become, we can say, beneficial, profitable, but imports become costly, and this is vicious cycle. Okay, so import become costly, again import bill increases, that impacts the CAD, again it depreciates rupee.
Sir, if imports are costly, then it impacts our domestic needs and it increases the inflation.
Yes, that is, we can say, separate impact again. Okay, so this is called as again imported inflation. When the imports, international imports, they become costly, the international commodity price, they are very high, if suppose, then when they are imported, the domestic inflation also increases. This is imported inflation. Okay, at the same time, present situation related to FDI, it is moderate. There is no large scale FDI into the country. FDI helps to, strengthen CAD. Okay, because a lot of foreign exchange comes into the country, and that helps us to deal with this current account deficit. But at present this is moderate situation, and that's why last year हमारे पास $640 billion reserves थे, and RBI to some extent has focusing on dealing with this increasing current account deficit, and for that purpose forex has come down to 600 now.
Right.
And it can again significantly come down if the situation continues. And therefore, what is the way forward? Way forward, we should deal on the two fronts, export, import. We should focus on increasing exports. So government can support in different manner. Export subsidies there, some kind of facilitation, specific incentives to certain industries. All these things can be helpful, including free trade agreements. Okay, early negotiations. Second is import substitution.
So we demand more discount from Russia on crude yesterday.
Yes, that is.
Just to deal this situation.
Yes, we have this situation where we can have bargaining power now.
Yes, sir.
For that purpose. Yes. Now import substitution for certain articles, especially कल ही हम जो बात कर रहे थे, for long term we should focus on oil seeds cultivation in the country. Second thing, we should focus on shifting towards renewable energy sources, reduce the dependence on conventional sources of fuels. Okay, so this will help to for the import substitution.
Right.
So domestic manufacturing industry needs to be strengthened. Then only we can say that import substitution will happen. ये हम way forward में लिखेंगे. Fine? Yes.
Sir, crude oil, coal and electronics group. They are
Yes.
the major components.
At present they are the major components.
Right.
Now the school dress is in the crosshairs. Very good article. We have to understand from essay and society perspective here. Now, from polity perspective, earlier we have discussed many times ED lectures. In ED lectures also it is discussed in detail. Now, school uniform is not a factor in learning. We all know about this. It is not contributing to learning process as such. Rather, it is part of administration, school administration. Okay. So let's understand first of all, let's say the single most important role that school uniform plays. It helps in the regimentation of the young. In first part of the article, he is talking about how different inter-school competitions, inter-school cultural programs, they showcase the different groups of children with unique kind of uniform. They are doing certain activities.
So it's easy to recognize.
No, that is fine, easy to recognize, but it is kind of regimentation. वो होता है ना, आर्मी का परेड होता है, उनका अलग अलग यूनिफॉर्म, अलग अलग सारी चीजें होती है. Okay, so basically he is talking about this thing, that the distinctness, the identity of that school. एक होता है ना कि वो होता है ना इस स्कूल का स्टूडेंट है.
Yes, sir.
होता है ना, तो वो एक यूनिफॉर्म से ज़्यादा हाईलाइट होता है. हमने भी बचपन में देखा है ये चीज़. ओके, नाउ द सिस्टम ऑफ एजुकेशन दैट इवॉल्व्ड अंडर द कॉलोनियल रूलर्स of different types generally favor strict enforcement of school uniform. So he is explaining that when during ancient time, medieval times, education continued, but there was no emphasis on uniform as such. Rather, those countries who were ruled by the colonial rulers, they emphasize, because the colonial rulers had this, let's say, uniform use of uniform for different purposes.
So basically it promotes discipline.
Yes, we can say discipline also, identity also, a kind of pride they carry with that uniform.
Yes, sir.
It is very important. The idea of school uniform has spread with urbanization, prosperity and privatization. Very important argument. Okay, how? Let's understand that. Why is emphasizing urbanization? Because even today, rural areas, they do not emphasize on having the uniform, because they cannot afford itself. They know about it.
Actually, sir, in rural area there is no private schools there.
Even if suppose private school is there, basically they will not focus on having the uniform. Why we are saying that? Because simply they cannot afford it. Okay, that's why they cannot force the children to wear the particular uniform. But what happens in urban area? So of course the income levels are high, and because of that the trend emerge. They can afford. Okay, at the same time the privatization. So in urban areas the private schools flourished, and they have this, competition kind of thing with each other. Okay, and the identity, the pride they carry with this uniform, they want to showcase in the different, let's say, platforms that this school has done this thing. तो वो achievements के लिए भी ये है. Second thing, parents themselves are having some kind of pride that their children are learning in this particular school. Okay. Now, this prosperity is also related to, we can say, privatization, urbanization and all these things. Now, how it has resulted into problem? Now, suppose there is a private school in urban area. What they do? They start asking the parents of the child to, bring the uniform, buy the uniform simply. When the child is taking admission, so let's say they will say that you have to let's say buy or purchase this particular uniform. Now they will provide some details of that uniform. ये ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, वैसा ही होना चाहिए. Now thereafter they will say that you buy this uniform from this particular shop only.
So vendors are already decided.
Yes, this is very much clear. You need to know. अभी recently दिल्ली में ये controversy हुआ था. Okay. Yes, stationery. Yes, stationery part is also there. Many times such shops are within the premises of the school also. Okay, so this is kind of impact of this privatization. Okay, and this is not appropriate. Of course, जब ये RTE का issue चला था ना, 25% from weaker sections of society reservation was given. So it was felt that if the student is getting admission in this quota, how that student is going to afford all these things? Okay, so this was argued at that time by the expert, but you should know about this argument here. The school uniform has mutated into new political tool and as a means of curtailing the already limited autonomy of principals and teachers. See here what happened in Karnataka. The government issued the circular, the government department, and the principals and teachers were supposed to implement it. There was no flexibility, there was no autonomy. Now the writer is asking very good question, whether those principals or teachers were voluntarily implementing it, whether they were interested, they were happy in implementing it. This question is very important, because we should understand, when the schools or these teachers, they are given autonomy, then the kind of education is received by the children is of quality. वहाँ पे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जब इंटरफेयर करता है तो वहाँ पे क्वालिटी नहीं डिलीवर हो सकता. Okay, so this aspect is also very important. It is becoming political tool and the autonomy of principals and teachers is being curtailed. Now in the next part, the writer is also explaining a uniform is different from the dress code. Okay, dress code, it is also for IAS officers.
Yes, sir.
right? Dress code is also for IS officer, but that dress code is having very surface level information, directives, not specific, while uniform is having specific information. ओके सो इतना ही होना चाहिए, ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, ठीक है, वो बहुत स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन होता है. बट ड्रेस कोड इज वेरी सिंपल जनरल इंफॉर्मेशन, लाइक पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ ड्रेस इज रिक्वायर्ड, राइट? सो दिस, लेट्स से, ड्रेस कोड कैन बी एक्सेप्टेड, बट यूनिफॉर्म कल्चर इज प्रॉब्लमैटिक इन स्कूल लेवल. Okay, so in general, let's say if we discuss, what do you think whether there should be uniform or not? Suppose there is, let's say, a question in ethics paper, GS4.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, it promotes the prosperity among, if there is 25% of reservation, there are students from the weaker section of the society and some belongs to the higher section. And uniform promotes unity, equality when all are wear the same dress.
Yes. So one argument is
provides prosperity among the children.
how prosperity, one equality is correct argument.
Better is to say equality. Sir, if there is equality, they do not, mainly children are not aware about the economic background. They talk to each other and further it increase the harmony. If students are not from higher classes, mainly up to 5th, 6th, 7th, they are not talk that much about the economic background.
Okay, so equality, unity,
Please promote discipline also.
okay, discipline. Then we can say
It gives the pride also.
one identity.
Lack of distraction.
Yes.
Yes, one identity.
Sir, as a uniform also promotes clear concentration on the study rather than
Yes.
what to wear on the next day.
Discipline, everything will be included here, right? Okay, so discipline is important. Yes. What are argument against?
So, but actually they don't have the money to come to the school, so they are coming under reservation. Somehow they can able to purchase the all uniforms and everything.
Okay, economic inequality, existing economic inequality. Okay, we can say that.
They have no money, that's why they come under reservation.
हाँ.
How they can able to purchase
Okay.
that.
सर इसका बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल एक मूवी है हिचकी.
Yes.
बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल है इसका. उसमें बिल्कुल यही चीज बताई हुई है कि 25% जो रिजर्वेशन है वो बच्चे कैसे सरवाइव करते हैं उस स्कूल में, हाई एंड स्कूल में.
Yes, yes, yes. बीच में इरफान खान की भी एक मूवी आई थी ऐसे कुछ.
इंग्लिश
Yes, sir.
मीडियम.
हाँ, इंग्लिश, हिंदी मीडियम.
Hindi medium.
हाँ हाँ. यस, काफ़ी वही इशू उन्होंने ये किया था. हाँ. ओके, सो इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी इज देयर. Okay, existing economic inequality. So the problem here is that those belonging to the backward sections of society, how they will afford the uniform. Because यूनिफॉर्म जो है ऑलमोस्ट एवरी ईयर या 1-2 साल बाद खरीदना पड़ता है. स्टूडेंट की हाइट बढ़ती है, वेट बढ़ता है, ऑफ कोर्स कॉटन है तो वियर एंड टीयर होता है, राइट? सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इट इज एडिशनल बर्डन ऑन देम, वी कैन से दैट. सेकेंड थिंग, excessive focus on peripheral thing. कभी कभी क्या होता है, स्कूल वाले जो है या टीचर्स जो है, आपने यूनिफॉर्म ठीक से नहीं पहना है, आपका यूनिफॉर्म खराब है, धोआ मतलब क्या होता है, क्लीन नहीं है, साफ सुथरा नहीं है. ओके, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे विल आस्क दैट चाइल्ड टू स्टे आउटसाइड द क्लास.
Psychologically,
This is wrong.
they will psychologically
So
demotivate that.
it's the problem of a particular psychology of a teacher.
Yes, but such things happens, no. But it is happening because of this.
So this is also happen when they wear casuals rather than uniform.
No, that is fine. But because of this uniform only, let's say out of 100 students, एक student तो अलग दिखेगा ही ना उसमें, जो उसमें होगा.
ज़्यादा भी हो सकते हैं.
हाँ, yes. So
Sir, there is also means discrimination among students. They also tease one another. It's like someone's uniform is not in a proper condition, so the other student also say
Yes,
some
yes.
abusive words.
Yes, that things happens, that things also happens, but that we can say rather that is weak argument compared to having uniform.
Yes.
Because when they do not have uniform, the rich, let's say those children from the rich class, they will wear the fancy clothes, and the poor, let's say children, they will be not wearing such kind of costly clothes. तो वहाँ पे ज़्यादा दिख के आएगा, ठीक है. तो ये है, बट यहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि एजुकेशन जो है उस पे ना फोकस होके पेरिफेरल थिंग्स पे ज़्यादा फोकस होता है कभी कभी, ठीक है. यहाँ पे हम लिखेंगे ओकेजनली, और ऑफनली ओकेजनली बोलेंगे यहाँ पे कि ये ऐसे फोकस होता है, एंड दैट इज नॉट गुड. ओके, बट हियर वी कैन से दैट अल्टीमेटली एज अ वे फॉरवर्ड यू कैन टॉक अबाउट इन फेवर. ओके, यहाँ पे स्टैंड क्या लेना है? इन फेवर. व्हाई वी आर सेइंग दैट? सिंपली वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड द यूनिफॉर्म इज स्पेशली टू एंश्योर इक्वालिटी.
Right, sir.
Okay, the most important focus here. Okay, because all children, they belong to different classes, caste, and we can say that when they wear single cloth, it helps them to inculcate this value of equality. ठीक है, ये जो हम स्कूल में वैल्यू इनकलकेशन वाला जो पार्ट बोलते हैं, सो इक्वालिटी हाउ इट इज प्रोमोटेड इनडायरेक्टली थ्रू दिस. स्कूल में कभी कभी क्या होता है, एक डे ऑफ होता है कभी, समझो कुछ स्कूल्स में यूनिफॉर्म का, उस दिन दिख के आता है कि कितना डिफरेंस है
Right, sir.
चिल्ड्रन में. यू नो अबाउट दिस? ओके, मेनी टाइम्स सम स्कूल्स गिव ऑफ, सैटरडे को समझो ऑफ है या ऐसा कुछ देते हैं कैजुअल क्लोथ्स पहनने के लिए. ओके, सो एट दैट टाइम वी अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंसेस. दैट्स व्हाई द इंपॉर्टेंस हियर, इक्वालिटी. ओके.
Even, sir, in my school, on Friday there is sports day, and there is same dress, all wear to a same dress, but in terms of shoes, wearing sports shoes, there is discrimination.
Yes, of course, yes.
So many people are not able to go for some competition also, sir, due to that.
Yes, of course, yes.
Constraints are
Sir,
there.
in school friends in Rajasthan, there is white dress, white uniform on Saturdays and Wednesdays. But there is no uniform of
On okay,
civil dress is not.
civil dress is not there, but a particular other
White
type of
dress is-
uniform.
The total uniform.
Yes, there are
is white.
even some private schools, they have particular uniform on particular day.
Yes, sir. On Wednesday.
Again, that is additional burden. Okay, so way forward में यहाँ पे क्या लिखना है कि the uniform should be simple, it should be affordable. Okay, even let's say those children who are economically weaker sections, who are from economically weaker sections, they should be easily able to afford this uniform. ऐसे होना चाहिए. Okay.
Right.
Yes, so that aspect. Then in addition to that, the children they should not be thrown out of class, out of school just because they are not wearing uniform or clean uniform. This affects the education.
Yes, sir.
कोई भी रीज़न हो उनको, ठीक है, आप वार्निंग दीजिए 1-2 दिन का, घर पे आप पेरेंट्स से बात करिए क्या रीज़न है. ओके, दिस शुड बी द अप्रोच, नो. सो यस, इन फोकस ऑफ डिसिप्लिन. बेसिकली आज क्या हो रहा है, आज कर्नाटका में जो हो रहा है, इट इज ओनली फॉर हैविंग डिसिप्लिन. उनका एक्सेसिव फोकस नहीं हो गया इस पे, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मेनी चिल्ड्रन आर लूजिंग ऑन एजुकेशन.
Right, sir.
ओके, सो दिस शुड नॉट बी द केस. ऐसे आप वहाँ पे वे फॉरवर्ड में हो. एंड यू टॉक अबाउट एंशिएंट एथोस वेर इन, जहाँ पे इंडिया में यूनिफॉर्म पे कभी भी फोकस नहीं रहा है एजुकेशन में. ये जो है वो लास्ट सेंचुरी का एक हम बोलते हैं कि ब्रिटिशर्स ने दिया हुआ एक,
उनके एजुकेशन सिस्टम.
हाँ. Okay, so and this is also result of, we can say, privatization, urbanization, all these we to some extent copied Western type of education system for schools education system like this. ठीक है.
So even there is to attract the people belong to the rich class, there is affiliation from the foreign schools.
Yes. Foreign universities, foreign yes, schools also, they collaborate with each other. Fine. Yes, Prime Minister Modi, Macron agreed to work together to expand relations. So yes, the talks, the outcome is not given in this article, but the talks related to Ukraine crisis, situation in Indo-Pacific and terrorism. Also, both sides tried to continue the defense cooperation and let's say that provided mutual trust between two countries. Okay, so France is important defense, we can say, partner for India.
Right.
And along with that, the investment. Also, you should know, let's say, the students, in terms of education, it is important for us. So, yes, both sides agreed to work jointly to increase mobility of students, graduates, professionals, and skilled workers while strengthening their efforts to combat irregular migration.
Also, sir, in terrorism sector
Yes,
also.
yes, they cooperate on in dealing with terrorism.
Money laundering.
Then Indo-Pacific में उनका alignment है. We can say Ukraine crisis पे, of course, they have a kind of similar views. Peace should be, established at the earliest. There should be negotiations, dialogue. ये सारी चीजें हैं. Fine. WHO estimates 4.7 million COVID-linked deaths in India. This table is important. You can see that 4.7 million ये जो cumulative excess deaths associated with COVID-19, it is together for 2020-21.
Sir, I forget the name of agency who is dealing with the money laundering case. Belong to France. FTA. Sir, which give grey list, which place to
FATF. हाँ, Financial Action Task Force.
Yes,
Yes, okay. Now, officially, Indian government had provided this 0.48 million deaths or 4.8 lakh. Okay, but we can say that WHO data is 47 lakh. This is almost 10 times higher. You can see comparatively in other countries, except Egypt, you can see that there are less differences. Okay, less differences. So this is being criticized, and Indian government do not accept this. The data or the methodology they have used to calculate these number of deaths.
Sir, what's your opinion? It's the right data.
See what they have done in let's say in WHO, they have basically interpolated the data. Okay, the excess deaths are calculated as the difference between the number of deaths that have occurred and the number that would be expected in the absence of pandemic based on the data from the earlier years. Okay, excess mortality includes deaths associated with COVID directly or indirectly. ठीक है, तो directly और indirectly दोनों उन्होंने ऐड किया हुआ है.
Actually, sir, due to the poor governance at the local level, it's not easy to take
First thing is that the COVID deaths, they were not registered largely.
Yes, sir.
Some of them registrations were declared as non-COVID deaths, although they happened because of COVID infection and organ failure later on because of that infection. So those deaths were not included. Here, how they have calculated this data, basically they have taken the difference between the number of deaths that have occurred, जितने deaths हुए हैं और जितने नहीं होते. मतलब in 2019 what was the data regarding number of deaths, and in 20 and 21 what is the number of deaths, इसका उन्होंने डिफरेंस निकाला है. उससे उन्होंने समझा कि these many deaths happened because of COVID-19. Okay.
Sir, even deaths because of heart attack, cancer, and
Yes,
fever,
that's
all
why
are considered
indirectly also.
They all consider under COVID, sir.
Yes.
It's a wrong data.
That's why they are calling it indirectly also.
Yes, sir.
So one more thing, sir, I observed whether it is correct. Sir, due to after Ukraine only, these malpractice data are going to be releasing from the Western countries, sir, especially.
No, there is no link regarding this. There is no link like this. Okay. Now, regarding this Lepakshi temple, it is on Friday review page, supplement. Okay. On Friday's newspaper, there is supplement. So, one article talks about Lepakshi temple. Okay, this Lepakshi temple is located in Andhra Pradesh, and it is having the Vijayanagar architecture. First of all, we should know the details. Veerbhadra Swami temple is the center of focus in this Lepakshi temple. Veerbhadra, so here the temple deity is basically the
Lord Shiva.
Yes, Lord Shiva, incarnation of Lord Shiva, we can say. And this temple has found place in UNESCO's tentative list of World Heritage Sites in India for 2022. That's why it is in news. Okay. And it is situated at Kurmasalam, that is tortoise shaped hill. Okay, a glorious example of much celebrated Vijayanagar architecture. Now, there is Ramayana link, the name that is given Lepakshi. Okay, so according to the legend, what happened here, the name of the place itself linked to Ramayana, legend has it say Jatayu fell on this spot after Ravana cut its wing when he tried to prevent Sita's abduction. Some of you may be knowing about this story from Ramayana.
Well aware, sir.
Right? So, yes. So, Rama stumbled upon the bird when searching for Sita. After the injured bird narrated what happened, Rama coaxed him to rise again. So, in Telugu language, Lepakshi means rise bird. Okay, so that's why the name Lepakshi. Okay. Now, there is, recent addition to this temple. The concrete Jatayu statue has been established outside the temple. So, then we should also know other features of this temple. That is Nagalinga statue. Okay, Nagalinga statue is very important one. How it looks? 7 hooded serpent coiled around a linga on the 5-foot platform. This is Nagalinga statue inside the temple. Now, who built this and when it was built? 16th century. It was built in 16th century. The entire temple complex believed to be rebuilt by Virupanna and his brother Viranna under the rule of Vijayanagara king Achyuta Devaraya. Okay, these brothers were officers in Panukonda region of present day Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so the main shrine, the 70-pillared Nritya Mantapa, the detailed and beautiful carvings depicts God and artists playing musical instruments and dancers in various positions and mudras. There is one mural or fresco painting, not mural, fresco painting inside the, we can say, this main shrine. Okay, and this fresco painting is on the top like this, on the, we can say, yes, ceiling, this long panel of fresco paintings. Okay, so these details are sufficient from this Lepakshi temple. Now, center questions: environmental impact of Jog Falls project. This project is related to construction of 5-star hotel in front of Jog Falls. So it is going to result into some kind of environmental destruction. Central government is requesting the report from the state government regarding this. It is not that important. This information is important from geography perspective. These Jog Falls are the highest fall in India in terms of single plunge. Okay, multi-tied बहुत सारे हैं हमारे यहाँ पे. सिंगल प्लंज जो हाइट होती है डायरेक्टली नीचे गिरना, 253 meter. It is located across Sharavati river in Shimoga district of Karnataka. Sharavati river is having huge hydroelectricity potential. It is passing through Western Ghats, entering into Arabian Sea. Okay, it is the falls are also known as Gersoppa Falls. Jog Falls or Gersoppa Falls. And near the falls it is located this dam, Linganamakki Dam. Okay, Linganamakki Dam on Sharavati river. And there is Mahatma Gandhi hydroelectric power station with capacity of 120 megawatt. Okay. The names Linganamakki Dam across Sharavati river, Gersoppa or Jog Falls, Mahatma Gandhi hydroelectric project. Okay. Panel notifies new Jammu and Kashmir Assembly constituencies. Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission finally notified new boundaries, names and number of assembly constituencies. Okay, so the numbers are important. New assembly would have 90 seats, 47 in Kashmir, 43 in Jammu, and increase from earlier 83. Okay, so with 6 of the additional seats being in Jammu and 1 in Kashmir. Earlier there were 83 seats when it was state, Jammu and Kashmir state. After reorganization, now for the first time the redrawing of these constituencies happened. 90 seats, 6 additional from Jammu, 1 from Kashmir. At the same time 9 seats reserved for scheduled tribes, 6 from Jammu and 3 from Kashmir Valley. Okay. Yes, so this information is sufficient. Although the Jammu and Kashmir political parties, regional political parties, they oppose this notification by the Delimitation Commission. Let's see what happens in future. Now, NASA climate scientist wins World Food Prize. Okay. Cynthia Rosenwick, agroeconomist and climatologist associated with NASA. So she has done the research work regarding, we can say, explaining how global food production must adapt to climate change. Okay, so this World Food Prize Foundation award, World Food Prize Foundation, it gives out this award. The organization draws scientists from around the world and from many disciplines to advance methods for improving predictions of future performance of agriculture and food systems as the global climate changes. So ये specifically उसके लिए है World Food Prize जो है. Okay, yes. Now this information from art and culture perspective. Yesterday we talked about these gifts given by our Prime Minister to Danish Queen. Rogan painting was given. Rogan painting is art of cloth printing practiced all over Gujarat in India. Rogan paint is produced by boiling castor oil for about 2 days and then adding vegetable pigments and the binding agent. The resulting paint is, we can say that, thick and shiny. Okay, the cloth that is painted or printed on is usually dark color, which make the intense color stand out. Okay, dark color का होता है. Designs include floral motifs, animal, local folk art. ठीक है? Yes, the second one, Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, a silver Meenakari bird figure from Banaras. Okay, so Meenakari is important art form from the Varanasi or Banaras. It is enameling, also called as enameling, is art of decorating metal surface by fusing mineral substances on it. Okay, mineral substances are fused on the metal surface. Meenakari was introduced into India by Mughals. Okay, ऐसे statement आपको pre में आ सकते हैं. The process is often applied to kundan, the articles of jewelry studded with gemstone set with a layer of gold foil between the stone and the mount on one side, while the reverse is lavishly enameled using Meenakari technique. Okay, the luster of Meena, the enameled reverse side, increases over the time due to contact with wearer's body and clothes. ये एक उसका यूनिकनेस है. ओके, ये आप बाद में लिख लेना, ये पीडीएफ आपको यूट्यूब पे मिल ही जाएगा. ओके, यस, द ब्रिलियंस ऑफ द डायमंड्स एंड अदर स्टोन्स is effectively complemented by multi-hued enamel of the Meena. Fine. So Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh is one of the oldest cities and has very rich culture and history regarding this Meenakari. Now the next one, Finland Prime Minister was given this gift, brass tree of life from Rajasthan. This brass artwork from Rajasthan. Jaipur is leading cluster of art brassware in state. Brass, valued for its golden luster, is a sand cast and various levels of production are handled by specialized craftsmen. Okay, then the kalamkari is, let's say, done with the engraving, and pen work is done with the control strokes of thapi, mallet of fine pointed chisels. चीजल्स होते हैं उसके फाइन पॉइंटेड, तो उससे वो मार्किंग करते हैं उर्दू लैंग्वेज में कलमकारी के लिए. ओके, द क्राफ्ट्समैन एनग्रेव्स फ्रॉम द मेमोरी अनलेस द न्यू डिजाइन इज आस्क्ड फॉर. तो सेम डिजाइन उनके मेमोरी में होता है, वो करते रहते हैं. ओके, सेम टाइप का. यस, द नेक्स्ट वन इज प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ नॉर्वे. सो आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर गेव द गिफ्ट अ ढाल विथ कोफ्तगिरी आर्ट from Rajasthan. So what is this particular art form? Koftgiri is type of decoration originating in India with Mughals as means to decorate arms and weaponry. Okay, this was the origin, and the word Koftgiri refers to action of beating the pattern into an iron. Beating the pattern into iron. An art of inlaying light metal on the dark one to provide a surface of an ornamental appearance with elaborate and lavish chiseling gold and silver leaf. Okay, so this is the pattern. For this craft, the term koft is applied and the work person is known as koftgar. Okay, and the trade as koftgari. The speciality of the koftgaris is that the whole design is produced mainly by wire. Now koftgiri is traditional craft practiced in Mewar district since decades. But this craft is seen in Jaipur and Udaipur also nowadays. Okay, Mewar district, this is the mainstay. Fine. Now, Kutch embroidery. So what is this Kutch embroidery? This is famous in Kutch region of Gujarat, of tribal community of Kutch district in Gujarat. Okay, embroidery. The embroidery practiced normally by women is generally done on fabrics of cotton in the form of net using cotton or silk threads. The signature effect of the colorful embroidery sparkles when small mirrors called as abla are sewn over the geometrically shaped designs. In March 2013, it was given GI tag. Okay, GI tag. Then GI tag in India is given under this Geographical Indicator Act 1999. It is in line with WTO TRIPS agreement. It seeks to protect the intellectual property rights. Pashmina comes from the animal fiber cashmere derived from the Changtangi goat of Ladakh. Okay, so this goat is indigenous to high altitude regions of Leh Ladakh. And Pashmina shawls are produced by two techniques, loom woven or Kani shawls, and needle embroidered, or also called as Suzni shawls. Okay, you should know that the Changtangi goat, the wool from the Changtangi goat is combed. Okay, there is no shearing of the wool, combing होता है, तो इसलिए fine wool होता है. And this fine wool by the, let's say, the herders of this Changtangi goat from Ladakh, they export to the workers in Kashmir. Okay, and those Kashmiri workers, they weave these shawls. Okay, this is we can say about Pashmina shawls. Then Dhokra, art form of Chhattisgarh. The term Dhokra has been named after Dhokra Damar tribes, the traditional metalsmith from West Bengal and Odisha. The origin of this tradition or art form is in West Bengal, later spread in Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Bastar region of Chhattisgarh is most important center of Dhokra art craft. Dhokra art is a metal figurines fashioned from the bronze and copper based alloys using lost wax casting known as cire perdu in French. Okay, so this lost wax technique has been used since ancient times in India. Yes, the oldest example we have is dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro from Indus Valley civilization, lost wax technique. So remember this information, Dhokra art craft. Fine? Yes. So on the basis of this information, what should be answer to this question?
One, sir.
Read question again.
Incorrectly, sir. 2 and 3. 2 and 3 incorrectly, sir.
Yes. So the question, command in the question is talking about,
Incorrectly, sir.
yes, incorrectly matched. So we have to find the incorrect pairs. Incorrectly matched pairs. So Koftgiri art is from Rajasthan. Yes, Mewar district of Rajasthan. So this is correctly matched. Dhokra art,
From Chhattisgarh.
yes, from Chhattisgarh. So it is incorrectly matched. Rogan painting is from
Gujarat.
Gujarat. Okay, so Rogan painting is from Gujarat. So this is also incorrectly matched. So 2 and 3 only. C is the correct answer. Fine. So in this manner, there can be question regarding art and craft. There can be specific question from one art of that particular region. Okay. So revise this information. We can expect question from this in prelims examination. Fine. Okay. Let us stop.